Have you ever tried to go camping and thought, man, I could really use a cold drink right now, or maybe some AC? Now, I'm not talking about an overnight camping trip. I'm talking of like a week-long, in the middle of summer camping trip where it is boiling hot and you would do anything to just cool down. Well, in the video today, we're gonna put that dream to the test, and we're gonna be showcasing some of EcoFlow's brand new devices. We're gonna be taking a look at the Wave 3, their portable air conditioned unit. We've also got the GLACIER 2, which is their battery-powered ice chest, and their 500-watt alternator. Now, finding availability for a campsite isn't easy to do on a last-minute basis, so we're out here in the middle of nowhere, aka my backyard, to put all of these devices to the test. So let's see how this setup can really handle an off-grid life. And let's start with the Wave 3. Now, I do want to thank EcoFlow for sending these products out and teaming up with me on this video. Now, the Wave 3 is kind of marketed as a portable air conditioner, but there's actually a lot more that you can do with it than just that, because you can also set it up as a heater, which allows you to use it year-round. If you don't want to use either one of the features, you can just have a fan that blows. It also is a dehumidifier, and you've got the auto option to just set a high and low level and it'll keep it within that range. Now, this being the Wave 3, we've got an upgrade from last year's model. The first thing to mention is its extra power. So the Wave 3 here has a 6,100 BTU cooling capacity, and that's up from the 5,100 that we saw with last year's model. Also, the heating is up too. We've got 6,800 BTUs compared to the 6,100 that we saw with the previous model. Another big upgrade with this device right here is that we've got the new LFP battery, and this is going to allow us to get a lot more charges out of the new battery than we were out of previous models. So we're seeing a 4,000 cycle charge out of the battery. Now, something to keep in mind too with the Wave 3 is that the battery is sold separately. So you do have the option, if you want a battery, power it up, you can do that. If you don't want to use the battery and instead plug it into an AC outlet, you have that option too. A couple new additions that we're seeing with the new version here is that it has something called Pet Care, which will allow you to set it up. Maybe you have an RV or a camper van or something like that, to where if you do have a pet inside, this AC unit can automatically kick on to keep the car cool and prevent it from overheating. Another addition that they have with this unit too, and that is purely from customer feedback, is the water drain notification. So with the previous model, when the water needed to be drained out, you kind of really didn't know about it. Now you will be notified. And also there is a physical button now on the unit where you can push it and drain it out, because yes, these units do need to be drained after a certain period of time. It does come with a hose inside the box, so you can have that water go up and out a window or drain off to the side if you need to do that. But with all the functionality out of this device, it's essentially a year-round device that you can use to keep yourself hot or cold. Now, inside the box, we have the obvious unit itself. We also have two collapsing tubes that will attach to the unit. One's going to be for expelling the hot air, and the other one is going to allow the cold air to come out. What's cool about this is that you've got a couple different of options for setting this up. If you want to have the unit inside of where you are, so maybe that's going to be a tent or a camper van, you can set it up in a configuration where that can be inside there with you. If you don't want to have it inside the unit with you, maybe you have it on the outside of your tent, you can set it up in its other configuration, which will allow you to just pipe in the AC into wherever you are, and you don't have to have the unit in there with you. Now, if you do get the extra battery, that battery is about 1,024 milliamp battery. And depending on what setting you have for your AC, it's gonna get you anywhere from maybe 2 hours all the way up to maybe 8 to 10 hours. So if you are running it at full max, if it's really that hot out there, I would recommend getting maybe like a solar panel to be able to replenish some of that battery as you are running it. But if you run it in something like eco mode, then you could probably run that thing all night. In fact, that would be my recommendation. Get the area cooled down as quick as possible with that max mode, but then plug in that solar panel and get this thing leveling off, put it into eco mode, and then just keep it there to keep your area cool for the rest of the day. Now, it's a pretty hot day here today, so let's head out to the middle of nowhere, aka my backyard, and actually test this thing out. Okay, it is so hot in this tent right now. We've got everything set up in here. We've got both of our hoses going outside and connected up. We're gonna go ahead and fire this puppy up right here. Let's see what we're looking at. Oh, it is currently 91 inside the tent. Ugh. Okay, we felt this just turn on. Let's get that pointed up. 60, sure, why not? Let's set it for 60. Wow, we've got 55 hours running this thing. I think the AC needs to kick on and that's going to drop right there. But 91 in here, already starting to drop. We're gonna zip up the windows, check back in a little bit and see where we're at. Okay, so taking a look at the app right here, we can see that the temperature is set to 60 and it is inside the tent. Outside temperature, we have got 79 degrees. Inside temperature, so inside the tent right now, it's saying is 94, 34% humidity. We've got our fan maxed all the way up. It is set to cool. We can also do an eco if we want to do that. It's going to set it to 79. Obviously, we can adjust it. And then we've also got our sleep, which is going to really get it quiet and quiet it down. We're going back to max because we want to get this thing as cool as possible. We've got the shutdown timer right here. We can do that. And then we've also got pet care too. So this is a really cool feature. If you do want to use this in your car, you can set up pet care. Now, if we take a look up here at the top where it says 95 watts, I'm going to tap on that. We can see the battery usage out of here. Click on the dashboard to give us some more data on what we're actually using. So we've got used solar battery, AC and DC options right there. We've also got 81% left in our battery. This thing at max looks like it is going to last for about an hour and a half. So not too long, but we have a remedy for that, which we're going to set up here in a second. And then we can also see right here our automatic drainage. So as this thing is being used, it is going to be filling up with water and it's going to need to drain, but we'll use the drain hose for that. And it will give us a warning when that needs to be used. All right, we're going to let this thing run a little bit more and I'm going to go grab the solar panel and we're going to get solar set up to keep this thing topped off. Okay, since it's such a hot day out and the sun is out and beautiful, I thought, why not put on the EcoFlow solar hat to just top this video off? So we have now got solar. I've got my cable running down the back and we are going to charge up this tiny little battery bank right here. Also something that you can get from EcoFlow. So let's put that in my pocket, but this is what I'm going to talk about right here. I've set up the full 1,000-watt charger right here. So it is charging up the Wave 3 inside of there. Initially, when I put that on max, it said that it had about an hour and a half of battery life. Plugging this guy in, double that to 2.5 hours. So we're getting an extra hour of battery, having this on max, as cold as it will go. So got that plugged in, but another thing that I want to talk about is this guy over here, and this is the brand new GLACIER 2. So this is a battery-powered ice chest from EcoFlow. Up here, we can control our temperatures, set our modes, and then inside here, if we take a look, so we've got our refrigerator side over here with a drain on the bottom, but if we've got this partition in here, this is going to be our freezer side. So we can set this as low as 0 degrees Fahrenheit to get ice and anything cold or frozen that we want on this side. We've got our refrigerator on this side, and if I take this out, the whole thing will act as a refrigerator. And something that I just found out and realized right now, you can open this from either side. So it's got a lip on either side where you can go and open it up. So that is pretty cool. Looking in here, we do have a light. So we have lights on either side right here. Handles that fold down on either side. We've got our venting down here. And let me flip it around and I want to show you guys here on the back. Here is where the battery is. So we've got our battery compartment in there. USB-C if you do need to charge it up. We've got a port over there. Flipping it around to this side for charging it up. On this side, we can plug in our solar panels right here, plug it into AC for our wall right there, and then we've also got USB-C for charging it up. So not only using this thing for keeping things cold, but we've got ports all around for charging phones and other devices. Now let's go ahead and take a look inside here and see how cold we have got our tent now that it's been running for only about 45 minutes. All right, our guy has been rolling for about 45 minutes now. There is where the solar is plugged in. It's plugged into the battery that is down below that. Now, just to set expectations, we do have venting up top here. So we've got the vents up there. We do have the rain fly on, so there is plastic, if you can see that, but it does have venting, so it is leaking a lot of cold air there. And then for the door, we have got a slit down there. Also, the kids have kind of been playing around in here and jumping in and out. But I will say it's been sitting for about 15 minutes, nobody inside of here, closed up to the best of its ability. And here is the big reveal. Let's take a look at what we have right now. So we had 91, we are now at 70. So we've gone from 91 to 70, now we're down to 69. This is set for 60. So we are down to 69 degrees in there. Battery 2.3 hours left on there. That is because we do have our solar panel plugged in. So I gotta say, This thing is running sweet. We can switch through the different modes here. So now it is in sleep mode. It dropped it to 79, but let's say at night, I want it to be, okay, 74. So we're gonna run it at 74 now on eco mode, or actually it's on night mode. Let's go to eco mode, there we go. So now we've got our leaf right here for eco mode. Let's drop it down to 74. The reason I want to change this is, here we go. Now we can see the battery changing. We're getting about 3.5 hours now that we've dropped down to eco mode, which essentially means that the power of this fan has dropped down. Okay, now we got 4 hours, 4.5, almost 5 hours. We can see our fan speed is all the way down to 1 power right there. So we're going to be getting a lot more out of the battery if we turn our fan speed down than if we had it up to max. Okay, now we've got 6.4. So that is adjusting. Oh, now it jumps to 28 hours. My goodness. Okay, we're going back to max. Let's get us full. Max 60. Yes, please. Let's see what that 28 hours jumps to. We'll give it a second here to update. Okay, back down to 2.9 for our battery. That seems to be about right. With our flow right here, everything, all the cold air is coming out here. All the hot air is going out of these tubes. We can adjust our levels here on where we want this to be pointed. And here is our intake output over there. I gotta say, this thing is pretty impressive and I'm quite happy with it. All right, so here is the 500 watt alternator charger that you can hook up to your car. So it comes with all of the cables that you see right here. We've got a 15-foot cable that is going to hook up to your battery. So here are the battery hookups for that. On this side right here, we have got our connectors that we need. Same with this cable. If we pull it out, same with the connector. We've got mounting brackets. We have got a fuse holder right there, but I want to show you the actual device itself because this is so easy to set up. So here is our alternator charger. You can see here are the cables that you are going to be plugging in, and each one has its own indicator of what you're going to be plugging into it. So say, for example, right here, we've got our battery. That's just going to plug in right here. And then on the other end right here, we have got our XT60 cable that is going to allow us to charge up whatever device that we have. Now, obviously, this is going to be ideal for our EcoFlow products, but we can also use a lot of third-party products as long as it has this connector right here. Now, this is going to plug in to the battery. So thankfully, I've got my battery here in the trunk, so it makes it nice and easy for this setup. I don't need all this extra cabling, but you can take your GLACIER 2, plug it in here, get that charged up and working, keep your stuff nice and cold, or you can even upgrade it to their 800 watt, which will allow you to charge something like their Delta 3 product line or something that needs a little bit more juice. But this right here is something that is really handy to have if you need to charge on the go. If you guys want to know more about these EcoFlow products or anything else from EcoFlow, be sure to check the links in the description. Now, having the Wave 3 for temperature control and the GLACIER 2 for keeping your food cold is nice to have. But if you want something that's a little bit more portable and affordable, I recommend taking a look at this video right here on EcoFlow's River series. This is a great device to take on the go with you. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.